G'day, Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. It's the podcast episode 25. So we're going to talk about a top 30 review. I know I've been looking at it a fair bit, but I pretty much think we've got the top 30. Well, there's 31 players, including Jackson Torpenay. And then we've got our development list and the second tier list at the moment, the extended squad. And these are players which have been visible at the training, as well as ones which we know are coming, but they can't. I'm going to give you my top 17. Top 17, I think, is our best 17 players. Not going to put that as my 17 to start the season yet. I'm still not sure what that will be, but getting closer to Christmas, which means we're getting closer to the start of the season. We will see obviously some injuries and some more changes. I'm not too sure we're going to get the prop for 2024 that we want. So I'm going to go through all the props we've got available. So I'm going to go through all the positions. Won't take long, and a quick overview of that. Then give you my best 17. And what we're also going to do is a competition. So I haven't decided what the prize will be yet. And next week's podcast, I'll talk about it, provide what the winning prize will be. It'll just be from myself. So I've got a lot of Bulldogs, items. If I see something at Coles or I see something online or whatever, I go and buy it. That's what I like to buy, Bulldog stuff. Might be a Bulldogs calendar for 2024. Who knows? Every year our calendars have players which have left the club, which is so annoying. So annoying. They must have to put the submissions in like 6 months early or something. But, so I might a calendar or something like that. Something that's easy to send, won't cost an arm and a leg. And what we'll do is, so the competition will be on naming the 17 players that will start round one. So not the team named on Team Tuesday, but the team that actually runs out on the field, the top 17 players that run out on game day against Parramatta in round one. So the person who gets closest to that top 17 will be deemed the winner, and I'll give him a prize. And I'll let you know what the prizes will be. You might get to choose between a couple of things. I'll have a good look at it, but go launch that next week. So that'll be something to do. It might make that you just got to like and share my article, my podcast or something like that. That'll be fun. Might as well try and build up the numbers if we can. It's been going up very steadily, unbelievably on it, to be honest. 672. But SEN, Greg Alexander was saying that SEN viewers should have a competition for them to name the Canterbury starting 17 for round one, because they reckon it's a bit of a lottery at the moment. And they're probably right. Look, I know the team. I'm going to show you the team that I think is our best 17. I don't think that'll be the team that starts round one, even if all are fit. But I think that will evolve into our best 17. So we'll go through that. And also, Fox News has talked about Williami Kikau. Well, basically, the Warriors are going to want to play a swap. So I'm going to talk about that and why I think that's absolute bullcrap, that article. So stay tuned for that. But this won't be a very long podcast this week. So let's get straight to it. So I'm going to share with you from Wikipedia. Now, this is pretty close, this list. So they've got the top 30 squad, the supplementary list, that's your development squad, and the extended squad's your tier 2 contracts, your New South Wales Cups, your train and trials. If you go to the 2023 Canterbury Bulldogs on the wiki page, it is with wiki, people can add to this and change it and stuff. So It's not gospel, but I think it's really close, and I actually altered a couple of things on it myself. I'll put Harrison Edwards on there because that wasn't updated last time when I saw it last night. So there you go. And the ones that are in blue, you can click on them and then go look at the wiki pages for each player, which is also a good thing to learn where they come from, where they're born, that sort of stuff like that, and any sort of related news. So there you go. So I'm just going to go through it now. So our top 30, before we do that, you'll see it all scrolling along the bottom there. But I'm going to go through each position. So you'll see the top 30 scrolling along. There's Josh Adokar, Bailey Biondiotto, Matt Burton, Stephen Crichton, Josh Curran, Raymond Fatala Mariner, who's been at training. He's in the team. Sam Hughes, Drew Hutchison, Tony Katoga, Bill Kikau, Max King, Jacob Kuraz, Liam Knight, Reed Marnie, Kurt Mann, Zach Montgomery, Carla Lawapu, Chris Patolo, Hayes Perham, Jacob Preston, Jamin Salmon, Jordan Samrani, Toby Sexton, Jarrell Skelton, Ryan Sutton, Blake Taff, Jackson Torpenay listed here, but he hasn't been at training. Don't think he's in the side unless there's a big change of heart there. I'm sure the club would be happy to honour it. It's still a sensitive issue. Connor Tracy, Jake Turpin, Blake Wilson, and Bronson Cherry. Our development list: Kawasa Fasumawali, Bailey Hayward, Curtis Moran, Joey O'Neill, Joash Papali'i, Harrison Edwards. With the second tier squad of Eli Clark, Harry Hayes, Reese Hoffman. Not sure about that one still, but that's where he's placed. Lipoi Hopoi, Isaac Madaleva Booth, Khaled Rajab, Jack Todd, and Regari Wavik. Sorry, I can't pronounce that correctly. Cameron Serrato is the head coach, with the assistant coaches of Chad Randall, Jason Taylor, Luke Vella as the NRL transitional coach, Mick Potter, New South Wales Cup coach, and Josh Jackson, the Jersey Flegg coach. I'm pretty sure Steve Turner's in there as well. I think he might be SG Ball or Harold Matthews, not sure, and Freddie Serrato is the team manager. Captains Matty Burton and Reed Marnie, and not sure about the other stuff with Big Ray Fatala Mariner. So, our prop options. We've currently got 8 props. 5 of them are in our top 30 in order. Max King, Liam Knight, Ryan Sutton, Chris Patolo, and Samuel Hughes. Kawasa Fumasili is eligible from round 1 because he's on the development contract. Any players in the development contract, there's so far, I think we've got 6 that have been named as certainties. They can all start in round 1 if they're eligible. Well, they're all eligible for round 1. The extended squad players are eligible from round 10 or 11. So Farmasili is on the development list, and he moves into the top 30 in 2025. All going well with this season, of course. Then we've got the phone booth, who's currently injured with that, coming back from that ankle injury, the big boy, and Jack Todd, who was awesome for Jersey Flegg this year. So 8 props in total and 6 that are available from round 1. Now, these are what I've put as their first positions, even though Stephen Crichton, I've got him listed as a centre. He'll probably start as our fullback, but we don't have that many genuine first pick centres. Although they're a very versatile bunch outside as a whole, not just for the amount of utilities. So we've got Josh Curran for our top 30 locks. Josh Curran, Kurt Mann, and Raymond Fatala Mariner I've named as a first choice lock. Curtis Morin and Harrison Edwards in the development list, eligible from round 1, and Lipoi Hopoi on the second tier extended squad. So 6 locks with Hopoi, Big Ray, and Josh all, I think, able to play in the front row. And I could even say Harrison Edwards could do that as well. And Morin has done that in New South Wales Cup. Second row, Bill Kikau, Jacob Preston, Katoni Katoga, who I think may also make a transition to the middle of the field. Jamin Salmon, but I think you'll find he'll play more second row than he Turpin. Our top 30 halves or halfbacks, you got Sexton, Drew Hutchison, Bailey Biondioto. Then on the development list, Bailey Haywood and Joey O'Neill. The 5'8s, Matt Burton, Drew Hutchinson, Carla Lawapu, with Khaled Rajab on the second tier contract. Any of those players can play half or 5'8. 8 in total, with 7 available from round 1. Top 30 fullbacks. I've got Blake Taff from Connor Tracy and Hayes Perham. Sorry about that. Just a slight interruption. And I'm not restarting. Just waving them away. Go away. I'll probably cop it later. Joash Papali'i as our development list fullback, and Ragaribi Warwick on the second tier. 5 fullbacks in total, but you can also add Stephen Crichton to that list. As I said, will probably be selected. And then you've got other players such as Blake Wilson and even Jacob Perez. Our wingers, 4 in the top 30. At Josh Addo-Carr, Jacob Perez, Gerald Skelton, and Blake Wilson, with Perez and Skelton being able to play centre as well. And then in the centres, 3 genuine centres in Stephen Crichton, Jordan Samrani, and Bronson Cherry. None in the development list, with Eli Clark and Harry Hayes. Also, I probably should have had Eli Clark as a winger on the second tier, because he's probably more likely to start on the wing. The Matt Damon lookalike, he's a very, very good up-and-coming player. And what I really liked about him last year was his defence. Harry Hayes, I think, is going to get better and better. And hopefully there's a spot for those two in the coming seasons. They look very likely, but they've got a tough job getting into first grade, and that's exactly how it needs to be. Jordan Samrani, if he can just get some luck with injuries, is a huge talent, as is Bronson Cherry, as we know, coming back from obscurity. So on reflection, across that entire squad, I think you'd probably like to have 6 genuine top 30 props. So I think we're 1 short there. And I'd probably prefer to have, 4, probably take away one of the second rowers in order to have a better top 30 prop, or take away one of the halves even. Because in naming your top 17 there, from those that are eligible, we're pretty light on in the props. There's going to be a huge job required from the likes of Chris Patolo and Samuel Hughes. I think they can do it. I think they're going to have to do it. They will get time this year, barring injury. And obviously, it's a big challenge for Max King and Leon Knight, especially. Both off contract at the end of 2024. 4 of those props are off contract at the end of 2024. So, and they're not on huge money. Ryan Sutton's the highest paid of the lot of them. And, to me, Ryan's still a bench prop. A very good one at that. So, I am looking off my own list. That's what I'm referring to. So let's look, how's the top 17 going to line up? I've gone Blake Taft at fullback with Jacob Carraz on the right wing, Bronson Cherry on the right centre, Stephen Crichton left centre, Josh Adokar left wing, Matt Burton 5'8", playing on the left, Toby Sexton halfback, playing on the right. Starting props Max King and Liam Knight with Reid Marnie, Viliami Kikau left edge, Jacob Preston right edge, Josh Curran at the lock, Kurt Mann as a utility, Ryan Sutton, Raymond Fatala Mariner, and Jamin Salmon to make up the bench. Just missing out Drew Hutchinson in 18th. And also you got the likes of Chris Patolo, Blake Wilson, Sam Hughes, and Jarrell Skelton. So to me, they're the players that'll be in the running for the first round one. I think Harry Edwards and Curtis Moran will be starting in New South Wales Cup. We can name a pretty good New South Wales Cup squad as well. And I've taken the liberty to do that as well. So with the New South Wales Cup best 17, I've got Connor Tracy, Hayes Perham on the wing, Jarrell Skelton on the right centre, Jordan Semrani left centre, Blake Wilson left wing, Drew Hutchinson at 5'8", Bailey Biondi-Odo at halfback, Patolo and Hughes as your props with Jake Turpin the hooker, Harrison Edwards, Katoni Katoga on the edge with Kurt Moran playing at lock, Bailey Haywood, Jack Todd, Lipboy Hotboy and Isaac Booth with Khaled Rajab, Reese Hoffman and Eli Clark just missing out of the top 17 there. I think that Connor Tracy will start. I think you'll find he'll be in our best 17 to start the season or be very close to it. I think Drew Hutchinson will probably be, if not in the top 18th or 19th man in our first game. And it's a pretty good New South Wales Cup team, to be honest. Tracy, Perham, Skelton, Semrani, Wilson, Hutchinson, and Biondi-Odo. Honestly, that's a pretty dumb back line for that's above New South Wales Cup level. And this is what we've had to do. We've had to, those players in that squad, they're all NRL. They're all either fringe or, if given the time and the investment and the opportunity, could make it. And then you look at the forward pack, Patolo, Turpin, Sam Hughes, all played NRL. Edwards played NRL. Moran played NRL. So you've got an NRL quality. Look, this New South Wales Cup side, barring any big issues happening like there was last year when a certain situation happened, it really did it affected the heart and soul of the club. Those New South Wales Cup boys weren't the same, and they fell off the edge of the earth. So there was stuff going on, obviously, with one of their major players, and it really hurt them. With that out of the way, not a focus this time, I really think with Mick Potter as coach, that team's going to be putting a lot of pressure on the first graders. So going back to the first grade side, I've got Taff, Perez and Cherry. I think Bronson won't be in first grade for quite a while. So I think Connor Tracy will be the one to come out of New South Wales Cup and to go into first grade, and before Cherry makes it through. And then it's just going to play how it plays. But I really like the way that's shaping up. And the good thing about it is players like Joash Papali'i, who I definitely haven't forgotten about, Joey O'Neill and the like, they are really young. And Carlo Oapu as well, who must get a mention. They're only 18, going to be 19. They're still flag eligible. So our Jersey flag team is going to be ripping hot as well. Expecting a really big season across the board, and interested to see the quality of player that's playing in. Well, you'd think Harold Matts and SG Ball are going to do well as well. Like, look, those competitions, they only go for 10 rounds or something like that, those younger ones. And they start a bit earlier and finish pretty early. Then a lot of those players are then going to transition and be part of the flag squad come the business end. I'm expecting us to be club champions again when it comes to the New South Wales Cup. When it comes to, I think we're big chance at winning a couple of more premierships. And you'd have to say we'd be favourite to win three of them. Not too sure about Harold Matts this year. Obviously, there'll be a couple of players that'll stay in Harold Matts that were there last year that were younger. But the experience of players like Jordan Mazzoni and the like, who have got to play New South Wales Cup, and they're playing SG Ball. SG Ball was expected to do well last year. It was the only real sort of disappointing junior side, apart from New South Wales Cup, which went from the best defensive team and the most consistent side to becoming a rabble of themselves by the end of it. So there you go. Now, there's been a big story that's come up. So Fox Sports has come up with this ridiculous headline: Warriors four-man hit list in bold bid to replace 1.2 million enforcer transfer whispers. I can tell you this now. There's been no whispers. I can tell you that now. They're just assuming this is just an easy story to write. Okay, Warriors are losing one of the best props in the game. Wanted to go home now. But said he's going to wait until 2025. He's meeting with the Dragons, the Tigers. Now the Sharks are an option as well. And also the likes of Parramatta, apparently. So they've identified, supposedly, that Isaiah Papali'i from Parramatta has gone to the West Tigers. So not Parramatta, but Wests. Stefano Oitikamanu. So essentially, two of the best forwards that the Tigers have, on probably the biggest money outside of David Clemmer. They've named Bulldogs back rower Viliami Kikau, who's our highest paid forward, and Dragons counterpart Jaden Sewer, who's on, I think, about probably the same as Kikau, probably on 700 grand, maybe 800 grand, as the potential replacements for Fonua Blake. So without saying, if a club is going to release their best prop, they probably want a swap or a trade or some sort of compensation. So this story writes itself. So they pick out four of the highest paid forwards from three of those clubs that are reportedly going to sign him. Okay? It's an absolute joke. And then they go on to say that Papali'i is very unlikely. because he's got a netball star partner. And the Dogs are unlikely to even contemplate letting Kikau go, as he's only 1 year into a 4-year deal with the club. I'll expand more on that. Viliami Kikau didn't get a pre-season in 2023. His father died. He got injured at training in round 5 and was out until round 22. The season isn't comparable. Now, I know we are one edge-back rower too heavy, and we definitely need another big blocker in the middle. So if you're going to swap a player, it sounds like the most likely, because obviously we're not going to let go of a Jacob Preston. But Kikau, unless there's some desire for him to move to New Zealand, because there'd be some desire, because for somehow that would be better for the pathways that they've set up with Fiji, which the Bulldogs have helped set up under Viliami's name, right, to help rugby league pathways in Fiji. It was all done by the Bulldogs in assistance to assist Big Bill and to assist Fiji in rugby league in the international game. The Bulldogs head and shoulders in front of promoting that, right? Now, that pathways that they created there was done especially for Big Bill and what he's passionate about. So why would he even want to contemplate leaving the club that's done that? Now, as far as a business decision goes, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense, right? So he hasn't, as I said, didn't get a preseason last year. You know, the last few games, hit and miss. Some big misses there as far as missed tackles went. Ran out of puff a few times in a team that was depleted and had very little to play for. But still managed to get a win on the way home. So, look, Bill Kikau is going to be huge for us on that edge this year. Barring injury, he's going to be a lot fitter. He's going to hit the ground running. And I think that combination of Burton, Kikau, and Josh Addo-Carr, hopefully with the left centre being Stephen Crichton, is going to be absolutely amazing and one to look out for. So there you go. Really a ridiculous story. It's just so easy to write. Look, any fan with any brain can put this story together. They got the 4 highest paid players that are forwards from the 3 clubs looking at the Warriors, and just written a story about it. Well, Chikamanu is expecting his second child with his partner, have no desire to leave Sydney. Jaden Seward would be a fair swap, but he wants to move back to Queensland. So Seward, they're probably, even with this last paragraph, that's setting it up for a Jaden Seward story to free up cap space for the Dragons, and for him to potentially go back and see old mate Wayne Bennett at the Dolphins, or potentially the Broncos. But there you go. And now they're saying the Warriors may refuse to budge unless they get a similar caliber player returning for Fonua Blake services. Unbelievable. Look, I'll tell you something about the Warriors. There's not too many have you seen too many times where the Warriors have had a player leave for compassionate grounds and they've demanded a player swap? Probably the most hardball thing they did was suggest that Reece Walsh couldn't go to the Dolphins and had to go to the Broncos, which was interesting in itself. Probably I'd say Reece wanted to go back to the Broncos more anyway, in I'd have no doubt that would be the case. The fact of the matter is, you're in another country. If you're homesick and you don't want to live in that country and you want to move back home to the country that you're from, your organisation isn't really going to, obviously they will try and work with you, try and help you, try and get you to stay. But once it becomes apparent that that's not going to happen and there's a real time limit on it, and they're basically going to try and help you get out of there. And I don't think they're going to play too hardball as far as getting a player swap. They may get compensation, which I'm sure would just be sweetly sorted outside of the cap, behind closed doors. It's just one of those situations. Since when have you heard of the Warriors demanding, a player be swapped and stuff like that? I suppose they haven't had too many players outside of Reece Walsh sort of go home homesick, but it's just one of them situations. You're in another country. You're not going to sit there and force a player that's taken $1.2 million of your cap to stay and play when they're not happy. It's just not going to work out. You're going to try and sort that situation out. So that's just a common sense approach. But people love to talk about the hysteria of it all. Bill Kikau is going to be looked at as being on big money. And, I've said numerous times, he's a player who'll miss tackles because of the pressure he applies from the left to the right. But the way that he works effectively is he puts a lot of pressure on. If the other players do their job, it actually doesn't matter if you miss the occasional tackle. I've said that numerous times. But when you throw an arm out and they run through you and then run 20, 30 metres or go and score, that's different. That means that and there was a bit of that from Billy Army in the back end of the season under fatigue, which I also said, and others have said as well, was expected. He was going to fatigue in those back end games at some point. And as a result, a big fella like that, when they start to fatigue and he puts in a lot of effort into his performances. Once the tank starts to run dry, and let's be honest, the tank wouldn't have been as full as it could have been due to the season that he had. He was always going to be a liability once that energy ran out. So there you go. So that's my thoughts on that, guys. I've got a situation here where the Bulldogs top 30 at the moment, or top 31, I don't see too much of it changing other than one player coming out. But you never know. Still a fair bit of time left. And Gus said there was quite a few things in store. But most of the things that have happened outside of Connor Tracy were sort of expected or raised earlier. So there you go. So next week, we'll do a competition where people can name the best 17. We'll run it for a few weeks. Get everyone to put in their submissions. I'll work out how we're going to work it. I'll chat to a couple of the other fellas. We'll run it in conjunction with the All Things Bulldogs Facebook page, Facebook group. And yeah, see how we go. Might spread it across some of the other Bulldogs groups as well. And if there's if people like and share, it could be something like that. I may not do that, but like and share the YouTube podcast or the channel, or subscribe, and then put in their team. The team that comes closest will win a prize. If there's a tie, I'll just do I'll get one of them random number generator things, do it online, and do it. It won't be something too huge. Could be a Bulldogs calendar or or an ashtray or something like that. I've got a fair bit of stuff there. I've got some Guernseys as well, jerseys. They're a bit big though for most people. But if you want a jersey to go and get signatures on, something like that, I've got a few different ones there. Just see what people reckon. I might get a few ideas bounced around, and then we'll talk about it from next week. Thanks for everyone who's subscribed. It's going up and up and up. It's doing really, really well. Really appreciate it, and thank you very much. Go the Dogs.